Hi, I'm Benjamin Bernstein with astroshaman.com. Today's video, don't believe the gloom and doomers, whether they're astrologers or psychics or whatever prognosticator you are consulting. I have done over 9,000 client sessions now and have lost track of all the people who've come to me and said, oh, I went to this astrologer and they looked at this thing in my chart and it's so terrible and I'm so cursed. And I looked at it, it's got so much positive potential. What are you talking about? So let me just give you a rule of thumb. If you go to any prognosticator and whatever kind of reader they are, and they give you a definitive dark interpretation saying you are cursed, there's nothing you can do about this, this is terrible, don't believe them. There's always a high side possibility for everything. So I'll give you an extreme example. Let's say a person had a Pluto-Saturn conjunction in their natal chart. We just had one of those last year in the sky, right? And someone would say, oh my God, the two planets of death put together, you're so cursed. And I would say, oh my God, how lucky you are that the structures that don't serve you will be transformed or released. And you have this tremendous wealth and power you can bring to the structures you create. How awesome is that Saturn-Pluto conjunction, right? So remember that we live in a holographic universe. The universe tends to give us the reality we believe in. Because it's a hologram, it's very responsive to our thoughts. So while you may have limited control over what happens up in the political power centers, you have a great deal of influence over what happens in your immediate reality. So I strongly advise you, hold positive thoughts, watch your thought forms, and keep turning them to the reality you actually do want. If you want to work with the negative thought forms that may be in there, that's kind of the scope of another video, but there are definitely tools you can use to clear away those thought forms so they don't pester you so much. But again, that's other stuff I've talked about on previous videos. But I'm just going to tell you here, I'm not going to go on too long here. I'm just sort of improvising. But yeah, please, you don't have to believe anyone who tells you a certain negative reality is unchangeable. There's one little caveat I will give you on that. Sometimes a person comes in with a limitation from the soul level. And as a shaman, we would say that is of God. For example, I believe that Stephen Hawking, the brilliant physicist, on the soul level chose to become a quadriplegic because he had very important work to do in physics, and he was really afraid that he would get distracted by the sensuality of the human body and all the cool things it can do. So I honestly believe that on the soul level, he made a soul choice to become a paraplegic so that he would have no choice but to do his mental work. He literally had very limited ability to be distracted from that. So sometimes on the soul level, we choose a certain limitation, but if you've tried your best to work through the limitation, get rid of it, and it's clearly there to stay, then say, okay, part of my soul mission then is to accept that limitation or that situation and then work around it. They've done all kinds of studies of happiness. They've discovered happiness is not dependent upon your physical situation. People who have severe handicaps on average are just as happy as people who don't. And I believe that is broadly true. So again, that was a tangent, not the main point. The point is you can choose a positive version of any reality. Whatever the fixed situation, you can make the best of it, choose the bright side, etc. Hold positive thoughts and positive intentions. And especially with astrology, there's nothing in your chart that has to be bad. Nothing. It's all got high potential. So that's my message for today, and I hope that's helpful to you. If you're interested in working with me, go to astroshaman.com, and there I do astrology, shamanic healing, awakening activation, life coaching. And if you'd like to check out my awesome spiritual membership called Awakening Plus, a bunch of people show up there and we all support each other spiritually. And I'm currently running a $1 for 30-day trial. So check out awakeningplus.com if that sounds interesting. Thanks so much for watching. Many blessings. I wish you infinite blessings.